Okay, let's talk about Unit 7, Situational Assessment, and how best to facilitate this and what you need to know. First off, it's important to realize that Unit 7 is a live instructor-led event, okay? And there are some things that we need to do to prepare for and effectively facilitate this unit of instruction. So Unit 7 consists of 3 graded exercises where students will apply what they have learned to real-world scenarios. There is 1 individual scenario, 2 group scenarios, and all 3 scenarios are graded activities. Okay. Let's take a look at the materials to explain how we get ready to teach this. The first thing is that we need to go down here to resources, and the main thing that you're going to use as the instructor are these facilitation slides. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and open those up. I got to click on preview to do this the right way though. So I'm going to go ahead and open those up. And then the other thing is we have the answer key slides. And so you're going to use this when you go through and provide the reviews for the different scenarios, right? This is where the answer keys are, and I'm going to open those up as well. All right. And then we have the scenarios. We have scenario 1, scenario 2, scenario 3, and we have the actual worksheet that the students will complete. Okay, that's scenario 1, scenario 2, scenario 3, and then we have the artifacts associated with each scenario that the students are going to go through to get the answers to the questions within the scenarios. Down here under how to facilitate this unit, this is where you are going to find how much time you need to allocate for each part of this unit of instruction. So here's the introduction, it's 10 minutes. Then you've got scenario 1, okay? You're going to do 10 minutes for instructions, 60 minutes for the assignment, and a 20-minute reset. Scenario 2, 10 minutes for instructions, 60 minutes for the assignment, and a 25-minute reset. And then we're going to have scenario 3, 5 minutes for instructions because it's a lot shorter, 30 minutes for the assignment, and 10 minutes for the reset. All right? And then, of course, we have the student instructions here to kind of explain what's in the student notebook in the event a student asks you how to access the lesson. Okay, so that being said, let's take a look at the facilitation slides to get an idea of what we're going to be doing. Here's the facilitation slides. And so you're going to display these in your live session. We have the introduction, okay? And this is going to be where you're going to be explaining that the scenarios, scenario 1 is an individual assessment, and scenarios 2 and 3 are group assessments. Okay? And notice that we're saying that a class review will be conducted at the end of each scenario before moving to the next one. As far as grading goes, that's what this slide addresses here. Okay, and so the students will be interested to know that scenario 1 is 14 points, scenario 2 is 10, and scenario 3 is worth 6. Alrighty. And then we have scenario 1. All right. We remind them that it's an individual assessment worth a total of 14 points. They can locate the assignment in the Assignments tab of MS Teams. They have to download the artifacts to their computer and save the scenario 1 document using the following format: last name and then U07S1. They have to complete 7 questions for scenario 1 and submit it when they're done. So let's go over to MS Teams and let's take a look at what this looks like within MS Teams. So let me bring this over here. Okay, so I'm going to be in General and I'm going to go to the Assignments tab. Okay, and this is under my drafts. For you, it might be under Assign, but for me, in this case, it's under Drafts. And I'm going to go to Scenario 1, Unit 7, right here. When I click on this, it's going to bring up the assignment. Okay, the students will access this by going to this assignment, and this is exactly what they're going to see. Now, in order to complete this, they're going to need to open up the Scenario 1 individual, this right here, and then here are the artifacts. But if they open this up, okay, if they open up this right here, this is opening in another, here I'll drag this over so that you can see what this is. Sorry, just give me a minute. Sorry, let me open that up again. There we go. All right. So let me drag this over here. Sorry for the delay there. This is the document that they're going to use to complete scenario 1. All right, they're going to read the instructions. It's going to tell them that they have 1 hour to complete the answer to the questions for this scenario, and then they have to attach and submit it in MS Teams. Here are the 7 questions, and in order to answer these questions, they are going to have to use the artifacts, which are located right here in the assignment. So they're going to open up these artifacts, and when they do that, this is a consolidated PDF with all of the artifacts that they're going to need to use in order to answer the questions in scenario 1. Pretty straightforward. Okay, when they're done with this, and remember they have to save this on their own computer. When they're done with it, they are going to attach it to the assignment and submit it via the MS Teams assignment. This same link right here. They're going to attach it and submit it. Okay. Let's go back to the slides and take a look at those. So scenario 1 has us, after they're done, you're going to move into these review slides. Okay. And it's going to just go over the most significant aspects of the scenario, and it's going to explain what they needed to review. All right. And then we have a review of the questions here. Okay, and so you can just simply display these slides and talk about the correct answers. All right. So here's questions 1 through 7 are all located right here. Now, if you need to reference the correct answers, right, they are right here in the answer key, and the answers, and these are not for student view, right? But the answers are located right here in the answer key slides. Okay, so this is to help you, the instructor, facilitate this review. So you're going to go through this review, and then you're going to move into scenario 2. Scenario 2 is going to follow the same format, okay? It's worth 10 points. However, in this case, it is a group assignment, and they are going to be choosing one of the options for scenario 2 and providing the rationale for their choice. Then they have to attach and submit one copy only of the team's completed document in MS Teams, and they have 1 hour to finish and submit scenario 2. So let's go back to the assignments tab, and let's look at the scenario 2. Okay, so back here in drafts, scenario 2 is right here, Unit 7, scenario 2. Notice the instructions. It says they need to open the document, scenario 2 group, it's right here, and save it to their computer, and they need to save the document in the following format: Group X, U07 S2. And so whoever the scribe is for their group, they're going to need to save the file as Group 1, 2, whatever it is, Unit 7 S2. And then only one member of the group will upload and turn in their assignment on behalf of the entire group. And just like scenario 1, they're going to utilize the artifacts here to answer the questions in the assignment. So let's go ahead and open this up. Okay, here comes scenario 2. So again, once they open this up, they need to download it to their computer and save it in the naming convention that we talked about. 10 points, they're going to read the instructions, and they're going to answer this question. Now, for this particular question, they are given options. Okay, they can choose option A, option B, and option C. And all of this has to do with looking at whether or not they can utilize an existing contract, or if they need to create a new requirement. And that's what this scenario deals with. All right, and it's going to introduce concepts like scope to them, risk, and there's some smart cards that they can review on scope and risk before they answer the question. But as a group, they're going to read this. They're going to read the scenario. They're going to answer the question using one of these options, and then the most important part is that they need to provide, as part of their answer, the supporting rationale as to why they chose the answer they did. And they have to address all of the following: how risk to cost, schedule, and or performance were mitigated by the chosen option, how the chosen option best meets the customer's needs, and why it is in the best interest of the government to execute the option they chose. And you'll see that those are all very similar for each of the options. So it's important to acknowledge too that there is no wrong answer here. The only way that they can get this wrong is if they do not provide the supporting rationale to address all of the elements here in that it states that they need to address as a group. Okay, let's go back to the slides and let's take a look at how this plays out. So once we get in, after they've submitted the assignment and the time is over to take a look at this, we're going to go in here and we're going to facilitate a discussion about, oops, there we go, that's okay. We're going to facilitate a discussion about scenario 2. We're going to talk about the scenario, discuss which artifacts were there, and then we're going to move into the options that they could have chosen. All right. Now again, you've got the answer keys here to assist you. So for scenario 2, if they chose option A, here are some possible reasons why, methods of to how they could have mitigated that risk. Okay, so this is here to help you facilitate that discussion. We do the same thing for, and there's quite a bit here for each one. Option A, so here's the mitigating risks, and then here we have the possible supporting rationale. For B, same thing. The risk mitigations, supporting rationale, and for C, risk mitigations and supporting rationale. Okay. Then finally for scenario 3, we're going to move into this one. This is going to be another group assignment. Okay. And again, you're going to direct them to the assignments tab where they are going to open up scenario 3. Right here, they're going to open up scenario 3. And again, they need to download a copy of the scenario 3 group assignment right here, and they're going to save it like this in this naming convention. And let's just go ahead and take a look at it. So here's scenario 3. So they need to answer these 3 questions. This one's relatively short. Again, they're going to select a scribe, and that scribe is going to upload their submittal to MS Teams via the Assignments tab. When they're done, and again, they're going to be using the artifacts here. They're going to be using the artifacts right here to answer the questions in scenario 3. Okay, so everything they need is right here. Okay, and so when they're done and the time's run out and it's time to facilitate the review, we're going to move into the review for scenario 3. We're going to have the 3 questions here on the screen to facilitate that review, but you as the instructor will have the answer key to facilitate that discussion. Okay. So the goal here is that you just facilitate a good discussion with the students about how to apply the concepts that have been taught in class thus far. And at this point, when you're done with scenario 3, all of the students should have submitted everything they need to for scenarios 1, 2, and 3. You're going to go through and you'll be able to grade those and assign the grades based on the rubric. And I want to show you that in MS Teams, you can access that rubric right here. Okay, so let's just take a quick look at it. Okay, and the rubric is very simple. It just says each question is worth 2 points. If the student answered part of any question correctly, but not the whole question, partial credit may be given. This is for scenario 3. And the rubric will change based on the scenario, because for scenario 2, right, for scenario 2, that requires a little bit more of an in-depth answer. So let me just take a look at that really quick. Okay, here's scenario 2. And, oops, sorry. Let me go back to that. Let me look at the rubric here. I think it's different. Yeah, so there you go. To get 10 points for scenario 2, they need to address all elements present with fully supported rationale. And then you have some grading criteria right here. Okay, so that's how you grade that. And that is Unit 7 in a nutshell. Let me go back to the ISP. So it's also very important that you remind students that the wrap-up session will take place immediately after the Unit 7 session ends. Okay, the Unit 7 session itself will be 4 hours. You're going to have 4 hours to get through all 3 scenarios: the introduction, the actual time to complete the scenario, and then the reviews. And then after that, you will be moving into the wrap-up session, which is Unit 7.5. But it's all part of the same live session. It just follows immediately after you're done with Unit 7. Okay? So that's it for Unit 7. Again, all of the scenarios and resources, if you need them, are linked right here in case students can't get to them. All right, you have everything you need right there. And then, of course, you also have more detailed instructions here should you need to reference that. All right, good luck teaching Unit 7.